Don't worry, be happy, at least when it comes to the degree of forecast accuracy in your foreign exchange risk management. Welcome to CurrencyCast. My name is Agustin Mackinlay. I'm the financial writer at Cantox and your host. In this week's episode, we're going to explain why a high degree of forecast accuracy is not a necessary condition for the success of your foreign exchange risk management programs. In a previous episode of CurrencyCast, we mentioned the journey of a typical foreign exchange denominated commercial transaction going backwards from the cash flow moment of the settlement to the accounting moment of the invoice recognition, and then to the firm commitment for a sales or purchase order, and finally to the forecast itself. A forecast is an anticipated transaction. Unlike the other steps in the transaction journey, it is not legally binding, and it finds itself the farthest away from the cash flow moment. And that already sets the stage for our first proposition today, namely that a high degree of forecast accuracy is not necessary when performing micro-hedging programs. A micro-hedging program is best suited for a company that has FX-driven prices that are frequently updated. Whether the goal is to manage the cash flow exposure or the accounting exposure in the transactions, the type of exposure that needs to be hedged is not a forecast at all. It's going to be a firm commitment for a sales or purchase order in the first case, or a balance sheet item such as an account receivable or account payable in the second case. So there you have it. A high degree of forecast accuracy is not required when performing micro-hedging programs. Now, is that all? Unfortunately, that's not all. Such programs do require a certain level of automation. Failure to have the capacity to automate your micro-hedging programs is likely going to lead to you to adopt suboptimal hedging policies. A more interesting case is provided by static hedging programs that are best suited for companies that wish to keep steady prices during an entire campaign or budget period and have the ability to reprice at the onset of a new campaign or budget period, whatever happens to currency markets in between. Here the challenge is to be in a position to defend and protect the budget rate in the event of a worst-case scenario for currency markets, while at the same time providing treasurers with the ability to leverage incoming information, the flexibility they require in order to improve and fine-tune their forecasts. This is achieved by setting a buffer between an FX reference rate towards the start of the campaign and the budget rate that is used for pricing purposes. Next, stop-loss orders are set above and below that budget rate, so that in the event of a worst-case scenario for currency markets, the budget rate that is used for pricing purposes is secured and protected. Also, profit-taking orders are set above the FX reference level, so that the company may take advantage of favorable moves in currency markets. With this setup, and to the extent that the market rates trade inside the corridor between the conditional orders, treasurers will have time on their side. They will be in a position to gain time and to be, like in the Rolling Stones song, in a position to say, time is on my side. And why is time on their side? Because, again, to the extent that the FX rate trades inside that corridor, they will have at least three tangible advantages. In order of measurability, we're going to be able to delay or postpone hedging, meaning that we're going to have savings on the cost of carry in the event of unfavorable forward points. We'll be in a position to set aside less capital than would otherwise be the case for the purpose of margin and collateral requirement. And above all, from today's perspective, treasurers will have time to leverage the income information that comes from real business events, such as firm commitments for sales and purchase orders, and they will be in a position to fine-tune and to improve their forecasts. In conclusion, we can say that a high degree of forecast accuracy is not a necessary condition for the success of your foreign exchange risk management programs. Currency management automation solutions working alongside your existing systems will allow you to adequately perform your micro-hedging programs without any real need for forecasts at all. In the case of static hedging programs, you will be in a position to secure and defend the budget rate in a worst-case scenario for currency markets, while at the same time being in a position to leverage the incoming information so that you can improve and fine-tune your forecasts. And you will get the most precious asset of all, namely time. Finally, if you're worried about the FX health of your business, take our free assessment through the link below and get a personalized report in minutes.